Hey everyone, Jason again, back in another episode of Album Recording. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different, something I have not done before. I'm going to do a concert review of Motley Crue and Alice Cooper, the final tour for Motley Crue. I'm going to do a concert review. I saw them in Chicagoland on August 8th of 2014, so last Friday. So what I will be doing, and so let's start from the top here. How did we get to this point? How do we get to the final tour and what is being billed as the final tour? Okay, earlier this year, in January, the end of January, the band had announced that they will be going on tour one final time with Alice Cooper over this summer. And what's interesting about this tour, it is billed the farewell tour, but it's actually they signed a contract. It is a legal contract. They cannot use the rights of Motley Crue, the name Motley Crue, after this tour. So after 2015, it's a world tour. I presume that this right now it's the U.S. tour, but it's going to be a world tour in 2015 and end up with the Dirt movie, which is a biography book, which I highly recommend as well if you're a fan of rock music, a fan of Motley Crue, fan of any of the members in general. That's how we got here. Immediately after that, there's been rumors of why, and I kind of want to address those. The first being the Mick, who has the illness, I actually do not know how to pronounce the disease that he has, but he has a bone disease where his bones basically fuse together, and if he can no longer play guitar, and stand and walk around and do what he normally does, that's an issue. So this is the first thing that came to mind for me is why they're quitting. But going back, and why they're retiring rather after 33 years. But going back and kind of reading the dirt a little bit, reading Nicky's books and reading excerpts and kind of different portions of both Tommy's and Vince's book. The band, they really had some tough times recently and whatnot, and you kind of go back and that's kind of feuding and coming to a boiling point. Tommy does not participate in meet and greets anymore. He apparently thinks that fans should not have to charge to see him and whatnot, and so that's that. So those are kind of the rumors that are going around. I don't know what is true and what's not true, but the fact is, one of the best rock bands, most notorious bands to come out of LA in the 80s, and one of the best 80s bands, and still one of the best hard rock bands today, is retiring after 33 years in 2015. Bottom line here. So let's fast forward a little bit when, like I said, the concert was revealed and the tour was revealed at the end of January. I believe tickets went on sale in my area. I believe that was February, middle of February, if I'm not mistaken. I actually waited until last month to order my tickets on Live Nation because I was concerned about Vince Neil and his voice. And just the way he sounded. I've seen the band previously 3 other times. Once with Crewfest in 2000. It's not Crewfest, excuse me, Ozfest in 2010 with Ozzy Osbourne. They opened up for Ozzy on their Saints of Los Angeles tour. I'll get to that in a little while here. And then I saw them with Poison in 2011, and I saw them with Kiss on the tour 2012, and they were pretty good, pretty good. Not spectacular. Vince was, I could tell, I didn't necessarily realize it after the first time I saw him because I was kind of in awe of the whole situation. Seeing Ozzy live and seeing Motley Crue live, that kind of blew me away. But seeing him in 2011, 2012, I noticed that Vince was having trouble singing, did not sound the same after listening to live or the records, obviously, and he is a lot heavier and drinks a lot. So this is kind of obviously the elephant in the room. So I waited and I saw some videos. The tour started out pretty horrific, is what I've heard and what I've kind of judged myself. They didn't sound particularly good the first couple of shows, but obviously as things have gone on, they built that up. So I've ordered my tickets. Extremely excited myself to go. Me and my friend. It was an extremely exciting moment when I ordered the tickets. We get to the venue. The place is ecstatic, and the venue was First Midwest Bank Amphitheater in Tinley Park. Not known to be the best venue, quite frankly, but it was just ecstatic. The energy, people are walking around. People are normally you go to a concert there or anywhere, a rock concert. There's an energy, and this energy was just happy. People were joyful to be there, obviously. And just laughing, cracking jokes, drinking a little bit maybe, and just having a good time. And it just felt different. People were amped up. People were buying merchandise. Yeah, normally you go to a concert, it's there. People don't buy merchandise necessarily, and it's just the energy was just electric throughout. We get to our seats, and just again, it's a buzz. Even before Alice Cooper goes on, and I'll get to the actual concert in a minute, but I want to give you guys a kind of an idea of what it may feel like if you go to the venue. There's a buzz, people are talking, having a good time, talking about the country album that it's going to be released actually next week, and I'll get to that at the very end of this video. But yeah, it's going to be. It was very exciting. There was the Crucify there in the Chicagoland arena, the first Midwest Bank Amphitheater, which was very exciting. Yeah, it was spectacular. Alice Cooper. Let's get to the set list finally. Here, Alice Cooper performed 12 songs. They started out with "Hello, Hooray." Mr. Nice Guys, obviously a hit of his. "Under My Wheels," "I'm 18," one of my favorite songs, actually Creed cover, and I'm a fan of Creed, so Creed actually covered that song, excuse me. So I recognize that song. "Billion Dollar Babies," "Poison," another hit song, one of my favorites here. "Welcome to My Nightmare," great. Feed My Frankenstein," I'll get to that in a minute. A great live, great performance there. Ballad of Dwight Fry, I believe it is. "Killer," "I Love the Dead," and of course "School's Out" with a snippet of "Another Brick on the Wall" of Pink Floyd here. Obviously going into this concert, the reason why I bought the tickets, even though I've seen the Crew 3 other times, is because of the magnitude of the acts. Originally going into, I was kind of iffy on Alice Cooper. After seeing the videos live and thinking about it more, obviously he's a master of theater, of stage presence. The kind of performance he puts on, the theatrics and whatnot, and his props that are used within his set list here. He had a guillotine, he had a huge Frankenstein. During Feed My Frankenstein came out, he had the nurses dressed in little skimpy outfits beheading him at one point with a guillotine. And he was Mr. Jekyll and Hyde for Frankenstein there. So just his overall presence, he was he demanded a lot with his presence, very intimidating, I guess you'd say. Even still being in his 60s, being on stage for 40 years, he sounded great. His band sounded great. He actually featured Oriente, the guitar player that was supposed to be featured on Michael Jackson's "This Is It" tour. She's featured within the band as a special guest with this tour. So very exciting. Good to see her, the entire band. Just great riffs from him. I know Motley Crue is kind of getting the spotlight as they should, as their final tour is billed under their name. But Alice Cooper does not get the respect, I think, on this tour that I think he should. Very good performance, and I hope to one day see him live, a full concert. I hope he signed on for this opening act. So people who say maybe he should have had more, I do agree with you. A 45-minute show was Alice there, and I felt wanting more. And this is kind of the goal here. After School's Out, I was like, we need to go see Alice Cooper. He put on a phenomenal show. I highly recommend that portion as well. And whatnot. So get there early and see both acts here. Okay. Now the main act, Motley Crue. After Alice Cooper, there was more energy. We sat there for about a half an hour, I'd say, and just the energy, people talking, having a time. I'm interacting with people around me, taking pictures, taking video, and just kind of savoring the moment, and having a good time. And once the lights went back down, and Motley Crue came on, let me get the set list here. It was electric. They started out, once the lights went down, the stage was dark. We have "So Long Farewell," Rodgers and Hammerstein song, and that led right into Saints of Los Angeles, of course, off their 2008 album, Saints of Los Angeles, Wild Side, Primal Scream, Same Old Situation, Looks to Kill, On With The Show, one of my favorite songs, underrated song the band does, Too Fast for Love, Smoking in the Boys Room, Without You, Motherfucker, The Year, that is off of Saints of Los Angeles as well, Anarchy of the UK, TNT, Terror in Tinseltown, led into Dr. Feelgood, Shout at the Devil, Don't Go Away, Man, Just Go Away. There's a drum solo, I'll get to that in a minute. Here, guitar solo by Mick, Live Wire, Too Young to Fall in Love, Girls, 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 Kickstart My Heart, obviously the iconic song, and of course Home Sweet Home, that was on the B stage, very emotional here. Okay, we get into, that's the set list. Now the energy. Like I said, the energy with the first song, Saints of Los Angeles, they came out pounding. Now, some people are going to say that the band should have chose another opening song. And maybe they should have. Maybe they should have done Wild Side first, Saints second, or something. Switch things around in one way or another. But I do think Saints of Los Angeles, and obviously was, like I said, published in 2008. It's a decent album, I will say. It focuses on, it's kind of, I think, an interview that I saw. It's based upon the Dirt book, loosely, kind of that aspect. So I think it's an appropriate opener. Obviously, they are from Los Angeles. Obviously, Wild Side, an iconic song. Primal Scream, one of my favorites here. Same Old Situation, some great energy. I believe it was during this portion of the show, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was this and Smoking in the Boys Room as well. The pyrotechnics, the fire, and every aspect. I realized this. Just great energy here. Nicky had a bass that when he, I'm assuming, hit a button, flames came out. So this is something that, you know, I've seen in the YouTube videos, and I was impressed. I was more impressed live, just the way it lit up the stage and whatnot, the stage presence of the band coming out. They just commanded it and sounded amazing. They sounded like they did in the 90s from the videos that I've seen, and the 80s from the videos that I've seen, and they sounded better. They sounded better this time than any of the 2 times that I've seen them, or 3 times that I've seen them rather. As we get down here, it Looks to Kill, another commanding song. People were into the song, fist pumping and whatnot. On With the Show, a ballad about Nicky Sixx and his as Frankie, and how he had passed away from a drug overdose. If you read the Dirt, you will understand what I'm talking about. One of my favorites, very underrated song here. Smoking in the Boys Room. This is another one where the pyrotechnics took hold of everyone. Fire cannons, fireworks, explosions. Just great. And I do a video of this if anybody's interested here. We have Without You, again, track number 9, is a ballad off of, I believe it's Dr. Feelgood, I believe. Let me double check here. Yes, with Dr. Feelgood is the album it's off of. I had to double check that, excuse me. Just a very good song. A funny moment before that song, Vince came on the microphone and said, you know, how are y'all doing? Trying to recharge the crowd here. You know, after Smoking in the Boys Room, there was a moment of second lull, everybody catching their breath, we're having a good time. And he basically said, this is probably a song that your parents had, you know, you were conceived to, it, basically what he said. And got a good laugh from me, and I found that pretty funny, and a lot of people around me found that funny as well. So nice, good-hearted moment there from Vince here. Track number 10 here, Motherfucker, The Year, off of Saints of Los Angeles, a hard-charging rock song as well. I guess an underrated song, kind of from an era that people think of Motley Crue in the 2000s and whatnot. You know, they kind of disregard those albums in a way, but it's a very underrated song in my opinion. After track number 10, Motherfucker, The Year there, was Nicky's rant, Nicky's speech, and he has done this before. I've seen him do this before, but and he basically took the microphone and, you know, was talking to the crowd, had everybody sit down like they were church, and this is what I've kind of heard before. And he passionately explained the history and thanked everybody, genuinely, I believe, for attending the show, introduced everyone, introduced a short history of the band. Obviously, just a lot of curse words, a lot of humor, a lot of energy, a lot of emotion in that moment. People around me were crying. I've heard of people crying in other sections and whatnot, and seen stuff on the internet. Very emotional moment, and that led right into the Sex Pistols cover of Anarchy in the UK here. They did this on the Carnival of Sins DVD in 2005, I believe it was. And this energy of this song and this cover was pretty amazing. As I said, the band was very tight, sounded awesome musically, and this just proves that they just nailed it. And great cover here. That led right into TNT, Tears in Tinseltown, Dr. Feelgood, obviously more explosions, more over the top there. Shout Out the Devil, hard charging rock song, everybody's fist pumping, great emotion on that song. Just a great atmosphere. Don't go away mad. Just go away. Vince grabbed at the guitar and was playing, and all three members, being Nicky. We have Mick Mars, who I'll get to in a minute, and you also have Vince. We're playing guitar, side by side, together, and there's some great photo opportunities there. Just a very great moment, great song here, and finally we get to the Crucify, the I guess you say drum roller coaster solo from Tommy. This is only available in the inside venue, so if you're going to an outside venue, I know in Ohio, I believe it was tonight, I saw on Facebook that they did not have this. They did not even have a drum solo because the Crucify cannot be supported, and this is all the rig that they brought. In previous years, I know they did kind of a circle, and this is a horrible kind of example. The circle kind of looked like this, and he went around in a circle, and they did not have this time. It was the Crucify, and it was a roller coaster, and he starts at one end and travels and plays through a mishmash of different songs. One being, off the 1994 album, I believe it was "Power to the People" or something like this. One of the songs off that album, and also did some techno there, and did some techno there, and did some popular songs. Fall Out Boy, I believe I heard. So maybe Miley Cyrus, I don't exactly remember, but just a great atmosphere and just a great spectacle to see. Tommy then, once he got to the end, thanked the crowd and said, "Thank you. I've been wanting to do this all my career." A great moment there that led right into Mick Mars and his shining moment, the guitar solo. He sounded amazing. As I said, he's got that bone disease, and I've seen him 3 times now. He sounded same every time, just stellar. I cannot give him enough props here. Just amazing solo, pretty long, about 10 minutes. I did not really get that on video, but one of my favorite moments there as well. Just great to see him have the spotlight for once. As I believe he is another very underrated. When you think of Motley Crue, you think of Tommy, Vince, and of course Nicky. And Mick in recent years, I feel, has gotten the short end of the stick, but a great moment there. Okay, track number 17, Live Wire, a great emotional song. Too Young to Fall in Love, great there. Girls Go Girl, track number 19. Obviously, the girls come on stage. People were taking pictures of the girls and whatnot. More pyrotechnics as well, and Kickstart My Heart. More pyro and more just emotion and just the energy of the crowd, and everything was amazing. And of course, the band goes off stage. There's fireworks after the song, streamers. People actually left, but there was a lull for about 5 minutes. The band took the B stage, which was in the middle of the arena, and they played Home Sweet Home. Emotional moment here. Obviously, this is one of the band's best known songs off of Theater of Pain album. An album that's kind of been trash, and I really do not like it as much. I will say the consensus with everybody else, it's not a really great album, but great song here. People were singing along, taking video, taking pictures. Just the emotion we see. There was a slideshow on the big screen, the big the big backdrop of the stage here. Great emotion to see there, and just a great way to end. And finally the band said thank you, we're gonna miss you, and I believe there was a message on the big screen or whatnot. But just a great way, obviously, to end the night, a magical night, especially if you're a rock fan, and whatnot. Okay, overall for this concert, I will say, as I said, of the 3 times, this time was the 4th time I saw Motley Crue. The energy and the emotion, this is probably the loudest concert I think I've ever been to, both from a musical standpoint and the band revving everything up, just supercharging, screaming, just the way everything was laid out, in the way they played the instrumentation, to the crowd noise and everybody having it was a party is what this was, and everybody had a good time, just loud and very fun to be part of. I'm glad I went and whatnot. I do want to say here, this is of the 4 times that I've seen Motley Crue now, this is the best concert that I think I've seen them. Obviously, I've said before, and I'll get to this now, Vince, previously the last 2 times rather, his vocals were less than stellar, and there was actually some people accusing him of, and maybe accusing the band of using, tape, kind of. Maybe they did this the first couple times of the tour, I'm not exactly sure, but he sounded amazing. The backer, not amazing, I will say. That's kind of I kind of jumped to conclusions there, but he sounded, I think, the best that I've seen him the last 3 times. He sounded the best that I've heard of him since, I don't know, 2008, 2009 there. And although he was drowned out by the background singers and some of the instrumentation, he sang every word. He's kind of got this pattern to where he kind of either forgets the words or just is being lazy, I guess you'd say, and this was not the case. He attempted to sing every word, and although he did give the fans the microphone and let them sing, there were the moments, but for the most part he did sound pretty good there. So if anybody's wondering, definitely your expectations may be a little bit higher this time around. Hopefully is exactly as good as my experience here seeing Vince, especially. As musically, as I said, the band sounded tight. They sounded best I've seen them since, I think. Just early in the tour there was issues, I think, but this time in my experience, they just sounded great. Did not miss a note. Just awesome, just very just a great concert overall here. Whatnot here. The one gripe that I will say, and I've kind of noticed this the last 2-3 times I've seen them, is the set list. And the set list is full of hits, but I feel kind of like it's a greatest hits set list. And obviously, this is what you want. You want fans to know the songs. This is obviously something. But being the farewell tour, the final tour, I'm not going to say farewell because that's been used before by Kiss, but the final tour, leads to tour for the band. But we're not going to break up, but we'll see how that plans out in the future. I kind of wish they had some diversity. Obviously, most of the songs were from, we got Dr. Feelgood, Shout the Devil, Too Fast for Love, Girls, 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 Saints of Los Angeles. We have 2 solos, 2 covers, and 1 Theater of Pain, being Home Sweet Home. Vince was not on the 1994 album, Motley Crue, but I kind of wish that was interjected in there somehow, and I kind of wish there were some surprises here, maybe off of Dr. Feelgood. I don't know, just something different, something we haven't seen before. I'll have an example for you here. Let me type in, let's see, Dr. Feelgood. Let me just type in kind of some suggestions maybe that I would put in there. Maybe would be, just stuff that's different here. Let's see. They could put in here a song, songs like Slice of Your Pie, or I don't know, Time for Change, which will be covered on the Country Tribute album, and they could put in Nona. They can put in some different tracks, and I'm glad they put in On With the Show, one of my favorite songs. As I said, very underrated song here. But I would kind of wish they did change up the set list and added some surprises here and added some stuff. Obviously, I just gave a couple examples, but added some stuff from New Tattoo and maybe Generation Swine. Although I know the band really dislikes that album a lot, but just added some different stuff, some surprises there. But so that's really my only gripe with this concert. But I highly recommend that you go see this concert. You go see this final tour. Regardless if it is or is not their final tour, it's a hell of a show, and you will be thrilled that you saw the show, and you were in for a treat if you have tickets for the show and you are going to see them. If you did see the show and this is on Facebook or something, what did you think overall? Did you think it was a good experience? If you were there early in the tour, what did you think? Obviously, it's still going to be a worldwide tour, so people in Europe have to wait a little while, I think, till next year. And like I said, it will end up being with the Dirt movie that'll be sometime in the summer of next year in 2015. One thing I do want to say, and this is pretty cool, this pic that I got, I do want to mention this on video. It is a promotional pic from the Loop Chicago. It was a Motley Crue 8/8/14 pick. I want to put this in here, something to remember this tour by, and I'm glad I got this as well. Promotional pick, as I said. But yeah, I'd highly recommend seeing this tour. And if you are, like I said, you will be in for a treat. So thank you guys for watching this concert review. If you enjoyed this video, I know it's pretty long, it's almost a half an hour, so if you enjoyed this review, please subscribe, please like this video. Again, if you've seen Motley Crue, you're going to be seeing them this tour, you're in for a treat. And if you have seen them already, what'd you think? Thank you guys for watching this episode of Album Review Corner. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.